LRC for giving the privilege to come and speak tonight at this meeting. We, the IWGB, have been campaigning for over 4 years in the City of London and Canary Wharf and other sites with low-paid, exploited workers. We originated the Justice for Cleaners campaign. And it's only really since that campaign has been taken forward that we more and more discovered that we were organising under the shadow of this institution known as the Corporation of the City of London. And the last big action we had, which was before the occupation you saw, was a strike on the 21st of March of this year at the Brighthelm Centre, which is owned by the City of London Corporation. And that coincided with the so-called election day in the Corporation of City of London. It's a so-called election because none of the workers you saw in these films, none of the cleaners who have to clean the dirt of the people in the City of London, none of them get a vote in that election. And they're conned from a vote because they say, even though if you work in the City of London you get a vote, but only if the headquarters of the company you're in, they say, do you get a vote. So if you work for a cleaning contractor who happens to have their headquarters somewhere else, allegedly, you have no vote in the City of London elections. It's in fact a fraud because I can be quite rest assured that many of those bodies don't have their headquarters in London. I don't believe that the Union Bank of Switzerland is headquartered in London, for example. But Mighty cleaners, ISS cleaners, Sodexo cleaners don't get a vote. The first actions we began were in the heart of this institution in their beloved Guildhall, where it wasn't about the London living wage, it was just about getting wages. Over a year ago, the cleaners there took 2 strikes, all wildcat actions, just to get paid the money that they were meant to get, the poverty pay they were earning. And at the time we were told by the grandees who came to confront us that the action was entirely illegal. But I thought it was illegal to have people work for nothing on your premises. And it was amazing how quickly they could pay the wages when the workers refused to work and were refusing to move away from the premises. But it also highlighted to us more and more and brought to the fore that it isn't just that people are paid low wages under the auspices of the Corporation of London. In order to enforce the low wage economy, they have the most authoritarian and exploitative management regimes and employment systems. Within the Guildhall, we exposed was wholesale corruption that was taking place, a criminal gang virtually running the cleaning company there in the Guildhall, and there was vile abuses taking place. And the thing that sprung to my mind when I seen it on the film was it's worth remembering we also have a City of London police force, which are not necessarily accountable. I'm not saying that the Met are accountable in the same way, but in the same way. And I can remember very well going to the City of London police force to report an attack on one of our shop stewards in the Guildhall who'd been followed by 2 managers to the basement, stuck against a wall in the toilets, and threatened and had scared the living daylights out of this woman who was fearing for her life from a manager with a history of brutality in the paramilitary forces in Colombia. And when we took that to the City of London Police, who were incredibly horrified, promised us that all sorts of retribution was about to be taking place, we thought, well, any normal detective, you think, would follow it through, wouldn't they? But of course that didn't happen. Because the next thing is we get a phone call basically telling us that his superiors, who were of course the corporation, had decided this was a matter best dealt by a grievance. So what was basically wanton criminality that could prove to be an embarrassment for these people was simply swept under the carpet and just was basically encouraged, basically, in order to drive the union presence out of the Guildhall. But we didn't go away, and we've continued to fight, which is, as we've seen, for the action around the Brighthelm Centre, which is supposed to be one of the most prime centres of the arts in the whole of Europe. But there in this prime site of the arts in the whole of Europe, we've had similar cases of vile abuses and exploitation taking place, all endorsed again by the undemocratic institution, the Corporation of London, I can cite cases of the most explicit racism, where people being described as black midgets by the management, but they refuse even to address the complaints we raise. We have a woman there who, with a history of miscarriage, who repeatedly raised grievances, repeatedly asked for risk assessments, had doctors' letters asking for assistance to make the work lighter. Their idea of lighter work was to have her cleaning 7 flights of stairs, culminating and collapsing in a pool of blood in the toilets of the Barbican. Be conveyed to a hospital not once but twice. To this day we've had not one apology, not one piece of remorse, not one explanation. All we get is excuse after excuse. And this is symptomatic of the treatment that is meted out to these other workers in the city, who they don't like to talk about too much. The people without the vote, the people who think, who don't have a voice. And we asked about the money. If you see, there's leaflets at the back, which we put out, obviously it's Scrooge, because that's what they are. 1.3 billion they have, which they say is for the benefit of all of London. 1.3 billion. This is a city where we have an elected authority, where every single party sitting in the Greater London Authority stood on a platform of the London living wage. The Greens, the Tories, Labour, the Lib Dems, all of them. The people of London voted 2 million for parties that believe in the London living wage. But the City of London Corporation doesn't apply the London living wage to the workers who have to do the lowest paid, the dirtiest work at all. The explanation they've given us is that they need best value. Yeah? It's not that they can't afford it. They don't even cast that. I mean, the press release, I laughed when I heard it. The official spokesperson, they've never spoke about us for years, but the official spokesperson, Richard Whittington, they call him. We all know who he is. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not a cartoon character in this, it's a real person telling us it's best value that they are obliged legally to achieve. But it's complete rubbish. Because we know those local authorities all over London who are suffering cuts, who do pay the London living wage. People have got austerity who are paying the London living wage. Got Tower Hamlets, Islington, all neighbouring boroughs, they pay the London living wage to cleaners. In fact, in Islington, they're bringing a lot of the services back in-house. Yeah? The City of London Corporation is the complete opposite. It's institutionalised exploitation taking place there. The good thing to say is, I believe that these people are not going to be eternal, and they are not an organisation that can't be defeated. And I think the important thing is that we're not intimidated by them. Because if low-paid workers like this could have the courage to stand up to what is meant to be one of the most sinister and powerful organisations, I think we can all take courage, and it really is an indictment, is it not, that here in the 21st century, we've got a body right in the heart of London, and we can say that the demands of the Chartists at the beginning of the 19th century, just for the right to vote for working class people, have not been achieved yet in the heart of London. And it makes me think very well of the old Chartist leader of the East London Democratic Society, who said our purpose would be to pull down the mountains of wealth and fill the valleys of want. And that really does make me think of the City of London Corporation, because of how great it was to see the new Star Trek, to see that whole body wrecked at the end.